The president did not properly vet him, a prominent Trump supporter said of Donalds, specifically noting his close relationship to Wilcoxson. Ooh, Trump didn't properly vet Donalds. Wow, Byron. Wow, that's worse than what Ron DeSantis said about you. He just said you was lazy. Now they in Trump circles talking about he don't really know Byron like that. You know what I mean? Because Byron, he from a different neighborhood. He be having all kind of people around. And you know, we told Byron, you got to cut ties with those kind of people. Shout out to all of the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and I'm troubled. Hey, Byron, yeah, let me holler at you. I literally just finished recording my piece about how Byron Donalds, or Byron Daniels, was losing in the polls that just came out to Casey DeSantis, who hasn't even declared for the race yet. 32% of respondents said they would vote for DeSantis if she chooses to run. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Byron, you out here losing to somebody ain't even declared for the race yet? She ain't even start to mobilize yet? And you behind? Are you serious? That'd be like my YMCA team losing a forfeit. Other team on the couch, and came through with a dub over my team that showed up and did an aggressive scrimmage. That's what that's like. That'd be like you up for promotion at work and they decide to give it to a mascot instead. We don't need a manager, because I saw the candidates and nobody is worse. You know, that would be kind of like you get shut down by a woman because she needs to work on herself. You know what I mean? And she like, ain't no other man. I just need to work on me right now. That's basically what Florida told you. They need to work on them. And if we're being honest, that is true. Florida definitely needs to work on itself. I would say it's also like all those times you applied for a job, you never heard back from it, but you see help is still wanted. Yeah, they would rather have the help wanted sign out than you. As it was described by Leslie Abravanel, explosive diarrhea versus projectile vomit, or why Florida can't have nice things. Yeah. Sounds like a Florida beach to me. I literally just finished recording that piece when I see this. MAGA star's top aide launched racial rant about those people. Byron Donalds, who's running for Florida governor, is the focus of concerns about vetting of him and those around him. And there we see a photo of the gentleman in question. Now, that was pretty shocking. But not as shocked as I was when I saw that photo. Byron Donalds' top aide is black? You mean to tell me Byron Donalds' top aide is black? Look, I'm gonna have some integrity about this because I'm not MAGA. Yeah, I wouldn't call it cancel culture when they're coming for Sydney Sweeney, when literally what we've been doing for 6 months is cancel culture. JD Vance, you know, I'm not MAGA. I have to give credit where credit is due. I literally thought you left all the brothers behind at Cracker Barrel. Yeah, when you got saved. That is actually what I thought. Is this the dude who taught you how to speak Jamaican? The politician endorsed by Donald Trump for governor is facing questions over his longtime aide, an accused offender who's made racial comments about that kind of activity. Byron Donalds, a 3-term Republican congressman, was endorsed by Trump for the Florida gubernatorial race in February, making him a strong contender for a contest that doesn't take place until next year. But Daily Beast has learned there's concerns in Republican circles about Donald's long relationship with Larry Wilcoxson, who's been described as his right-hand man for more than a decade, and about the lack of vetting of Donald's candidacy in its entirety. I just found that sequence of paragraphs pretty ironic, because it is the people in Trump circles that are concerned about Byron Donalds' vetting of his aide. What, because he was accused? That means he probably belongs in Trump circles as opposed to Byron Donalds circles. Donalds has been a prominent TV voice for Trump, jetted around the country to rally support for Trump last year, and was at one point rumored as a potential pick for vice president. That's right. You was on the list, right? Yeah, you was on, there was discussions.
I don't feel slighted. Just because you're not in the cabinet doesn't mean you don't have a big job. If we're going to be truthful, when that conversation was had, I said, no, I'm looking at other things.
So you were approached to be a part of the Trump cabinet?
There were conversations that were heard. I was leaving, that was never had. I'm going to leave it at that. But I got my own plans and things that I want to do.
There was discussion. I'll be honest. It was discussions about me joining the Lakers next year. It was discussions, in my kitchen and living room. There was discussions. I put myself on a list. So I was on a list. I was on the list. Just like Byron Donalds. His loyalty was rewarded with an early endorsement for Florida governor, which 2 Republican sources told the Beast appeared to come without the level of vetting that such a high-profile race demands. I mean, what is vetting in Trump world, really?
You proposed more than $11 billion in cuts to local and state programs addressing things like infectious disease, mental health, addiction, and childhood vaccination. Did you personally approve those cuts?
I'm not familiar with those cuts. We'd have to go.
There's like more than 50 pages of cuts that I actually went through.
The cuts were mainly DEI cuts, which the president.
There were a lot, but I'll give you, for example, about $750,000 of a University of Michigan grant into adolescent diabetes was cut. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, and that's something that we'll look at.
Vetting. So overrated. Donalds has used Trump's endorsement to barnstorm the state and crucially raise over $22 million for a notoriously expensive race. He's capitalized on his MAGA media profile as a Trump ultra-loyalist and on his potential to make history. If victorious, he would be the first black governor of Florida and the first black Republican governor since the Reconstruction era. Ah, yes. That must be why he's faring so well with Latinos, despite them rolling out alligator Alcatraz. Those things kind of go, I want to make history. I want to be the first black governor of Florida. I wonder why there hasn't been. You know what I mean? But then the black MAGAs want to tell me that racism is over. You know what I mean? What was that? The first black Republican governor since the Reconstruction era? That just must be a coincidence, Black MAGA. The president did not properly vet him, a prominent Trump supporter said of Donalds, specifically noting his close relationship to Wilcoxson. Ooh, Trump didn't properly vet Donalds. Wow, Byron. Wow, that's worse than what Ron DeSantis said about you. He just said you was lazy. Now they in Trump circles talking about he don't really know Byron like that. You know what I mean? Because Byron, he from a different neighborhood. He be having all kind of people around. And we told Byron, you got to cut ties with those kind of people. We told him don't have them still coming around here. And that's why, we can't bring you into proper society. That's exactly why. Now, what I find hilarious is Trump did not properly vet him. I don't even think they said that about Mark Robinson. I don't even think Mark Robinson got that.
Well, well, well.
And yes, Byron, it sounds like you were out here moving just like Mark Robinson. Let me see your router and your DoorDash history.
Wow.
For almost all of his political career until now, Donalds has had Wilcoxson at his side. The pair, both 46, have posed for many photos together, including one with Trump since 2013, and have celebrated Thanksgiving together. The relationship has been lucrative for Wilcoxson. Records show Donalds has paid Wilcoxson, who called the congressman a brother away from home, over $300,000 in reimbursements and for consulting services since 2021. Byron, it's brother from another mother. This fool said, my brother away from home. Where you learn that? Erica taught you that? In response to a request for comment, Donald's campaign told the Beast that Wilcoxson will not be a paid consultant for his gubernatorial race, which is a break from his role in his two most recent races. But it is the fact that Wilcoxson was charged, wow, that's a pretty nasty charge, pretty nasty, while working as a substitute teacher in Indianapolis, Indiana, and how he responded that is causing concern about how much vetting Donalds has been through. Those charges against Wilcoxson were dropped in 2007, a year after his arrest. He previously said that black men did not commit such crimes, saying with white men, it's bombs, it's serial killers, it's those kinds of people. He told the Daily Beast on Wednesday that he never harmed anyone. Now, the idea that black people don't commit those kinds of crimes is asinine and provides cover for black people to commit those kinds of crimes. Kind of like when people say, oh, I never thought it would happen here. It's such a small town. Like, small towns be having the wildest stuff go down in them, but they don't necessarily hit the news because, you know, you would hate to sully the small town. So let's get that one straight. As far as what he said about white men and the kinds of crimes they commit, one of the things that I've said here right on this very platform is how the media highlights certain perpetrators of crime and how certain levels of crime get skewed and blown out of proportion in order to make you think that this kind of stuff isn't happening on a regular basis. In fact, just as I did my research for this story, look what else I found. MAGA champion who said Trump would fight predators is arrested on charges of being a predator. There you see the photo. A fervent Trump supporter who said he was casting his 2024 vote to fight trafficking is now being charged with 10 counts of possessing content he should not have, or anybody should have. Should not exist, quite frankly. Scott Susek of Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, was arrested on July 24th and accused of accessing hundreds of images through a file sharing system. Susek isn't just a Trump booster himself, he's also the husband of a leading Republican Party operative in the state. His wife, Stephanie Susek, is the chairwoman of the Door County Republican Party. Last year, she represented Wisconsin as a delegate at the Republican National Convention. And there you see her right there. You know, exactly the kind of story that we never hear about. The kind of thing that just would hit the cutting room floor on Fox News so they could show some black teenagers shoplifting. Yeah. Wilcoxson confirmed he will no longer consult for Donalds, saying he's chosen to focus on things other than politics. He said he'll still vote for Donalds if he's the conservative candidate in the general election, but he did not commit to whether he will actively campaign for the congressman. He also declined to elaborate on how close he and his one-time boss are today. A Republican insider described Wilcoxson as a rabble-rouser to the Beast, and a Republican official from Southwest Florida, where Wilcoxson lives, told the nonprofit news site, the Florida Trident, that the consultant resorts to threats of violence almost instantaneously. So is that what he was doing, Byron? He was your enforcer? I guess you would have needed that. Those kids would have been pretty vicious in the days before Beijing. They probably said some pretty hurtful things. I can imagine that. Those concerned that Trump's endorsement came too early pointed to Donald's choice to pay Wilcoxson campaign cash and to hire him as a senior advisor in Washington. They said these decisions raise questions about the congressman's judgment. Donald's answers to industry and is happy to just kind of like use his campaign funds and his budget to give money to his buddies, an insider said. Now I have my answer to where the money was going. Because I was wondering where all, you know what I mean? That last video, I was wondering where all the money was going, and now we know. Now this all makes perfect sense. Now going back to like the origin of you guys' relationship, because Byron, I'm somebody who knows that you definitely got a break back in the day when you had gotten in trouble, and then you went to pull the ladder up behind you.
Byron Donalds won't say who those people are, but blames them for revealing his criminal past. It's been posted on the internet after it was ordered sealed by the courts. A 1997 misdemeanor arrest for distribution of marijuana, and in 2000, a second-degree felony for receiving a bribe. Donalds says those claims are inaccurate. He claims he was arrested for possession of pot, not distribution, and the second offense was for theft, not taking a bribe.
15 years ago, I came in contact with a girl. She offered me $1,000 for my debit card and my PIN number, and I gave it to her. I never got the $1,000, but I had to make restitution to the bank.
Is this the reason why you pulled the ladder up behind you? Cause Larry got up there too? Is that what happened? Wilcoxson's own record would certainly raise eyebrows for anyone vetting Donalds. Among the incidents in which he's been involved in 2006, while working as a substitute in Indianapolis, he was alleged to have given a teenage girl an intimate photo of himself, which police said she then showed to some classmates. The child reportedly told police she had a crush on Wilcoxson, and authorities alleged that there was an incident in his car near school. Wilcoxson was held on a bond of $100,000. A year later, the case was dropped for unstated reasons. Wilcoxson told the Beast he would never touch a child. Also in 2006, the Indianapolis Star reported that he was dismissed as a substitute teacher for allegedly exposing himself to a custodian. Wilcoxson also denies this ever happened. Must be a coincidence. In 2013, he was fired as a Hertz rental clerk at an airport in Naples, Florida, and then convicted of driving a car for months without permission. Cops found the reportedly missing vehicle in his driveway and arrested him despite his pleas that he was legally renting the car. He was sentenced to 6 months in prison for grand theft auto. However, that conviction was vacated in 2022 after it was discovered that Hertz had systematically submitted incorrect reports of stolen vehicles nationwide. Wilcoxson told the Daily Beast he's, quote, never stolen anything. Look at Hertz catching strays in this whole story. I was ready to crash out on you about that one, because in the first two, those were allegations, and those ended up being dropped with no conviction. But in this case, you're talking about you renting a car, which is a two-way relationship. You know what I mean? I can't just take somebody's car and just say I'm renting it. I'm gonna give them the money later. But Hertz, let me find out. Okay. I didn't know y'all was out here in these criminal streets. So that OJ thing was just really good casting. In 2022, he was captured on camera lunging at a former Florida school board member's husband during a Republican executive committee meeting. Video from the incident, described as disturbing by local news, showed a deputy holding back Wilcoxson, who told the Beast he's 6'4" and 300 pounds, to prevent a fight among the fellow Republicans. No charges stem from the incident.
Well, we've obtained more than half a dozen different camera angles and videos involving two separate arguments, both of them involving Collier County School Board candidate Kelly Lichter, who is suing Byron Donalds' wife. This video shows Donalds and his senior campaign advisor, Larry Wilcoxson, surrounding Kelly Lichter, who eventually tries to leave. But the congressman follows her and clearly appears angry over a lawsuit involving his wife.
Stop the lawsuits, Kelly. Stop that.
His aide and another man try to stop him before they discover they're being recorded.
And they video on right now.
Now, I showed the video to Donald's staffer. We made multiple requests to speak to the congressman. He didn't make himself available. Instead, they sent an email that didn't answer any of my questions about the arguments. His Democratic challenger, Cindy Banyai, is talking.
Was that Byron Donalds just threatening a woman to a fight in a public place?
Then last Wednesday, this happened. Donald's campaign aide, Larry Wilcoxson, being restrained by a deputy and others after Lichter's husband, Nick, tells me he lunged at him during the Collier County Republican Executive Committee meeting, a room filled with fellow Republicans. During the Collier County Republican Executive Committee meeting, a room filled with fellow Republicans. Lichter saying, quote, "I am grateful to Sergeant DiPaolo and Collier County Sheriff's Office and the brave veterans at the VFW for protecting me." Donalds is seen stepping in to pull his aide away.
Okay, this is bad.
The congressman was supposed to hold a town hall meeting on Fort Myers Beach the same day. He canceled.
Fire him, Byron.
Again, Donalds refusing to comment. Banyai is.
I guess he really is the new face of the Republican Party, full of bullying behavior.
Do you think he should apologize for this?
I think that's the least that he owes the woman that he was intimidating and the people of Southwest Florida.
Now, I want to be clear. I gave Congressman Donalds every chance to respond to these videos, and he chose not to.
Byron, you running up on white women in public with Wilcoxson? Just how many privileges you think that black MAGA hat gives you? I bet you wouldn't do that now, since the election. Since you see how the priorities lie, yeah, I bet you would handle that a whole lot differently now. Let me find out. They was really out here like that. And by the way, black MAGA, because y'all always like to talk about how it's all love over there. And I'll tell you this, Byron, you didn't have that energy in Atlanta. You didn't have the Kelly Lichter energy in Atlanta. I can tell you that.
You don't forget about where you from. Don't paint us a picture. Don't tell us that we can't educate our kids on the opportunity. We're talking about vouchers. You're talking about things that's still going to cost them more money.
The point I'm making is that I actually do understand where I came from.
You don't
I
understand.
totally
It's
recognize
obvious.
the value of
It's
that.
obvious.
And what I want to say is, at no point in time will I ever be a victim. That's why I'm
Everybody
sitting
has a
here right
story, is
now.
my
And
point.
I don't care what the name of
What
the
are you
statue
going to
was,
do?
and I don't care what the name of the building is.
What are you going to do?
I don't care what the name of the building is because
I'm a black man. This is a conversation for black men, and all I hear is people that are non-black trying to hush me. I came here from my family.
I think we had security.
But I'm getting all the stories.
I need you to talk with respect. My goodness, this is not kindergarten.
Careful. Did you hear the pause before kindergarten? No. I don't think kindergarten was her first choice in her head, but then she realized that this was a black event, and she was like, "Oh, I can't say what I would have said in normal circumstances." I wonder what her first choice was. Magic City? Huh? This ain't Magic City. This ain't Lenox Mall. Huh? Don't y'all go acting them. This ain't a Hawks game. Byron Donalds running up on Lay like that. I'ma tell your daddy. Yeah, you're a real one.
I mean, when Americans see deportations or repatriations happen, they're going to be like, thank you. When they see the border closed, they're going to say, this is what I voted for. When they see peace starting to break out again around the world, they're going to be like, this is the stability that we were asking for. Daddy's back. And that's what you're going to see.
And Byron, I would also say if the reporting of the whole education scheme lands, you might have to get used to that whole suing my wife thing. You know what I mean? But you're just gonna rip the Band-Aid off, just go ahead and get real comfortable in those streets. In 2023, his then fiancee, Melissa Kamen, filed an injunction for protection against him. She alleged that she was picked up and thrown on the kitchen counter and held against her will by Wilcoxson. She also alleged that after she fled, he found her more than 100 miles away, broke into her car, and scattered her belongings on the street. A temporary restraining order was put in place, but was later removed. Wilcoxson told the Daily Beast his ex's allegations were not factual, but he declined to elaborate, saying he's not hashing this out again, quote unquote. He was also charged with battery in 2003 for allegedly striking someone with a stick in a street fight, and again in 2013 for allegedly attacking a car detailer. He was not convicted in either case. Now, I got to bring the same energy I had in the Lauren Boebert situation. How in the world does this man not have more convictions? I'm just like, how? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? He just roaming the streets and causing mayhem and then making it inconvenient to prosecute, so he's allowed to continue roaming the streets and causing mayhem? What's happening? It's either that or he is the epitome of the archetype of falsely accused. They just say it was a big black man, and it's just always Wilcoxson who just gets brought in for everything. I mean, those are the only options I got. Privately, Florida Republicans have been particularly concerned about Wilcoxson's extraordinary defense of himself in 2023 to the Florida Trident, having acknowledged that the 2006 allegations involved multiple victims. I'm not going to open up that can of worms, he told the Trident, which asked if he was calling his accusers liars. The law has spoken. It took me to a dark place. In my America and your America, only a black man will be guilty and will always be guilty. He added, I was having a menage with 3 women at once, and I had the video footage. I said to police, did you see any little girls in there? I'm a real life pimp. I'm a ladies' man. Y'all can't pack him up for nothing. His defense against that allegation was sexual deviancy. That was your defense. And Byron Donalds, you knew this when you brought this man in to be your aide. I guess that's why your justification for Donald Trump sounds as nonsensical as that. That's exactly how your defense of Trump sounds. They went through all of my sexual tapes, all of them. They looked on my computer. I said, did you see me looking at anything with kids? I don't do that. That's what white men do. As a criminologist, look at the statistics. With black men, it's homicide, it's robbery. With white men, it's bombs, it's serial killers, and it's children. All I would say to that is anybody can do any crime, but that seems like an odd defense. That seems, criminology and sociology seems to be an odd way to say I didn't do the thing that I was accused of. The Donalds campaign told the Beast in a statement, Larry doesn't work for the gubernatorial campaign, and this is nothing more than a desperate attack from the radical left. Okay, well, first, you need to be concerned about attacks from the radical right, because that's what you're dealing with right now, not only with DeSantis and from Trump circles as well. So you might want to look both ways before you cross the timeline. You know what I mean? Not just on the left. But also, it's funny that I said this is the way your defenses of Donald Trump sound exactly like his defenses. But you mean to tell me that the revelation that your top aide has this kind of history is a desperate attack from the radical left? That's what facts and information settles for now? The fact that Trump and his people are concerned, which really, I mean, if his people are concerned, I mean, they don't even be concerned about him. The fact that you home right now, okay, in that context, they're concerned about you. But you want to go with attacks from the radical left, really? There are also questions swirling about the viability of Donalds himself. His loyalty to MAGA is unquestioned, with the watchdog GovTrack listing him as the second most politically right lawmaker in the House. However, insiders say he's bringing his own baggage to the governor's race. See, that's exactly what I told you. They said you got to cut ties. Hey, they gonna throw Wilcoxson out like they did Jazz in The Fresh Prince.
The oboes will be coming next.
Donalds has chalked up the instances to youthful mistakes, crediting his conversion to Christianity as putting him on the right path. Among the criticisms levied against him now are the 89 votes he missed in the last Congress, a trend that continued into this year, with him controversially voting by proxy so he was able to be in California to film an interview with Bill Maher. Hey, Ron DeSantis?
And so the reality is, you know, we've achieved victories in Florida. We need to start achieving those victories up there. So I think people look at it and say, you know, you got a guy like Byron. He just hasn't been a part of any of the victories that we've had here over the left over these last years. He's just not been a part of it.
Hey, Byron. Yeah, he said you was a front runner. Yeah, because he said all y'all was working on a group project and you was over there playing video games. He said they couldn't get you to get off the game, you know, and all of a sudden you just put your name on the project. That's what he said. I'm just telling you what he said.
He's been in other states campaigning, doing that. And that's fine, but okay, well then deliver results up there. You know, that's what I want to see. I want to see them delivering results for the people of Florida. We deliver it here all the time for the people of Florida, and that's what we need to be doing.
We have such a narrow majority that to be trying to campaign other places and missing these votes, I think, is not something that's advisable at all. That came from DeSantis. I think that people would forgive Byron for the stuff he did in college, a GOP insider told The Beast. But, you know, looking at what's going on with him now, I think that Casey would have kind of a head-to-head advantage, especially on camera. Okay, so first off, he brought up the stuff that happened in college. That's the first he brought up the stuff that happened in college. Then he said Casey would have an advantage on camera. I wonder why Casey would have the advantage on camera. Wonder what camera would have to do with it. That is fascinating. You know, it's the kind of thing that makes you yearn for the days of Jim Crow. You know, just a more just, colorblind society like we had during the days of Jim Crow. I see what you were after with that one. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe or even join if your heart is so moved. Shout out to all the people, by the way, that have responded to me at admin@reesewaters.com, volunteering your various services on the channel, be it for research or for editing. I even heard from Mr. Ray's hair weave. I'm gonna hit them up because I asked about a man unit. So y'all stay tuned, Mr. Ray's.
You can style it, sleep in it, even shampoo it. Let Mr. Ray give you softer, sexier hair today.
Just because you haven't heard from me doesn't mean you won't. I'm making my way through those emails as quickly as I can, so just bear with me. Speaking of which, a lot of you guys have sent in content suggestions. Is it me or Racist of the Week's just falling from trees these days?
Well, now you have to go with your insurance company on your truck, so I hope you have another car. Racism is expensive.
It's like we got way more open with our racism in 2025, huh? Imagine ahead.
We're approaching the dawn of America's golden age. It's going to be a golden age for America.
There have been so many, I can't turn them around fast enough. So I might have to start stacking my races of the weeks, maybe give out like a gold, silver, and bronze. So just know if you see multiple topics, that's exactly what's happening. And I want to give a shout out to Steven, who sent me this photo with the note, "Love the show, a nightly ritual with the wife," with his discouraged, depleted, but never defeated mug. I love the photo and I appreciate the support even more. That mug and plenty more is available at reesewaters.com. By the way, I got to get out of here because I heard Frozen Smoke and Goshen making it rain again.